Blog Talk Radio.
Check out the full episode of this on Mentellect Patreon.
In the name of Amen, the Supreme, the All-Powerful, the one and only true Lord, and Amen, we trust, as the Republic of Mentellect, the real 144,000 is being gathered in this day and time, the Mentalists, the Amen race, the bright race. Good evening, I'm your host, the intellectual Newton Linkari. This is Mentellect Radio. And tonight we're going to be discussing the soul of America versus the spirit of America. You know, there's been a steady effort, a steady ongoing effort to snuff out the spirit, the soul of America and replace it with spirit. You know, what is the soul of America and who encompasses the soul of America? And what is the spirit of America and who encompasses the spirit of America? Simply put, the same people who have been having, you know, racial wars back and forth. Right? And we already know who that is. That's a war really between black and white. The soul represents the so-called black people, and the spirit represents the so-called white people, and all the other races are human. Right? That started when the so-called white man came over here into America. Really, when the Asians came over here and started mixing their seed in with our people. But prior to that time, there was a heavy soul energy on America. Very heavy soul vibration on America. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that, because when we talk about spirit and soul, keep in mind that we're speaking about energies. We're speaking about energies. One based in fire and the other one based in water. One based in fire and the other one based in water. The soul energy is based in fire. The spirit energy or spiritual energy is based in water. Soulful is fire, spiritual is water. Now, why do we carry the soul energy? Because we were solar projections from upper dimensions here. We were projected here onto the earth as full-on natural beings, Amen beings. What is the soul of America versus the spirit of America? It's basically saying black versus white. Black represents the soul of America. White represents the spirit of America. That's why the white man's always talking about the spirit of '76. That was when he was at his highest. He was up there. We done took care of business on our white counterpart Europeans. You know, we had to put that work in on the white Europeans, the white English. We had to put in that work, but we still brothers though. But we had to put that work in and take our independence. And they was feeling themselves. You know, they had that revolution. And the spirit of America was planted here. The spirit of the spirit of America, the spiritual energy that they invoked was planted here. That degenerate energy where they renewed themselves from us. See, because the only way the white man was able to renew himself in this country is because they were feeding off of us. Remember I told you about George Washington, how he was really George Washington, and he took on the Washington name, which is bronze Mesoamerican people, descendants of Mesoamericans. He became Washington. See, stuff like that. We influenced a lot of what they do today. This is what takes them from being English. Why you think the white man, he went from Irish to English to all these different, he stopped being those things and he sound more, was quote unquote American. That comes from us. That American sound comes from us. The slang and all that, that's what American is. Because other than that, there's English. Where do you think this American accent come from? That really come from us. That don't come from the English. I'm going to prove that. All right? Who has the soul? Our people, so-called black people, the bronze, copper-colored people, the real Americans. Who has the spirit? You Caucasians got the spirit. Because the soul represents the fire, the spirit represents the water. That's the type of energy that runs through us. Water energy runs through them. Fire energy runs through us. Why is it a battle? Because it goes all the way back to the time of their creation, where they had a hate for us. Because, you know, how the beast do, he hates his creator. The creation always eventually hates its creator because it hates the fact that it has to bow down to its creator, because it's going to come a time where the slave is going to bow down to its master. The creation is going to bow down to its creator. And you humans are going to bow down to the Amen again. That's going to happen. And they hate the time when that's going to happen. That's why they want to get rid of you. They want to kill your children. They want to do everything to stop them from going into what's going to naturally happen, which always again happens again. People get naturally put back in the order in which they're supposed to get put back into in order for things to go forward. So you goddamn grays, which are the descendants of the humans, you going into bondage, man. And all you humans that did all this shit to blacks in the black and white stage, you coming back as the grave, and you're gonna have it done to your by the almond race. Who will win the battle? The soul always wins. The soul always wins out. The true power, because see, everything here is run by the soul, run by solar power. Everything is run here by solar power. Everything runs off the sun. Even the moon is the reflection of the sun. The moon is the reflection of the sun, and the moon cannot pull the tides on earth without power from the sun. The moon has no power of its own. All of its power is derived from the sun. Same way all of white man's power is really derived from us, the so-called black race, the bronze race, the almond race. The humans derive their power from the almond race, from us. Y'all better wake up. For the complete broadcast, you're gonna have to go to Mentellect Patreon. Go to Mentellect Patreon for this complete broadcast, because it will not, I guarantee you, it will not be on YouTube. Subscribe to Mentellect Patreon and join the Mesoamerican community.
Rising out the black race to the white race, out the black race to the white race. It's the Republic of Mentellect, black race to the white race. If it's hell, then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold, and blue. Superman, Superwoman, that's me and you. The infinite capability